Hello, my name is Daria Johnson Marshall, and I am presenting my distraction stealth prototype. This is a prototype to create a stealth system in which the enemy is lured away from the target, of the objective target, by a distraction agent so that the player can sneak in during this little window, interact with the objective agent, and avoid detection by the enemy. This demo demonstrates the player, the enemy, and the objective collisions. The player moves around using mouse click and a raycast. It has a NavMesh agent component, rigid body, box collider, and a custom script that monitors the current movement happening. The enemy has NavMesh agent, rigid body, box collider, and a script that determines the radius of the enemy's field of view, as well as the angle of that field of view. The target mask is the player, and it determines what the enemy should be looking for, which will be especially useful if there are multiple player agents in the scene. And the obstacle mask layer determines if there is an obstacle like the walls that are blocking the enemy's vision from the player, in which the enemy should not act because they are not technically in the player's or in the enemy's line of sight. It has a specific objective that it is protecting, which is this blue sphere, and so it will be monitoring the status of the sphere's collision, which is determined by its relationship to where the player is in relation to the outermost trigger colliders. The objectives have two types, collect or hack, which will take different amounts of time to complete, and it has objective states, which are stasis, in progress, complete, and failed, and the timer determines how long it will take in order for the objective type to be completed. These also have scripts, and this just determines which collider it is in order to send that information back to the enemy. And the distraction agent is currently in progress, but what it will do is broadcast to all of the game objects tagged enemy and overwrite their set destination and make them come towards the distraction agent and away from their normal patrol area. So to demonstrate, using mouse click, the player will go to exactly where the mouse is clicked on the screen. If the player is here by this wall, it is very close to the enemy's line of sight, but the enemy will not pick up on it. And if the player is here, the enemy will pick up on the player, and after a given amount of time determined by the distance and the collider that it's currently being triggered with, the enemy will react and it will chase the player and pursue the player. And on that collision is when it will be like a game over, and the player has been caught, and the level will have to be restarted in order to complete it. Move.